Greetings, salutations, and today, on our 201 tutorial series, we are going to be looking at reading the meta and how to interpret what your opponent is playing. So, this matters a lot when you are playing a mid-range deck, because it will decide whether you win or lose the game. Control deck, it's helpful when you have limited resources to know kind of what your opponent's playing. Idea like they're playing dragons. Okay, I've got to save an answer for Alduin. Or I've got to have an answer for Parth or Odahviing. Aggro, just hit it in the face. Just hit it in the face. But it can still be useful if you're like, well, they might be running this, so I need to go face in these couple lanes or stay all in one lane because he can't do anything about it. So there's some room in aggro for higher learning and higher play, but I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the answer to how do you read the meta and know what your opponent is playing. And it's not the answer anyone wants to hear because it's not the answer I wanted to hear, and it's just experience. There's no magic key to, oh, I see these colors, I immediately know what I'm playing against. No. You just need to see what people are playing. Legend Dex is very useful for this, just getting a look at it. Playing the ladder is good, watching streams are good. But I'm going to try to give you at least some of my experience here in this video. We're going to go to ladder, and I'm going to talk through why I think they are what they are, and what specifically I am looking at when I'm trying to determine what I think my opponent is running, and how that affects what I am playing in the game. So, in order to get the most interaction with my opponent, I am going to be playing a control list. I'm not playing the Build a Better control we did, but I am going to go and play Banelord, because Banelord has two things. Removal, so I get to decide what I'm clearing and why. It also has a single copy of Mummify, which means what I choose to mummify is very important because once I do it, I won't be able to do it again. That's why we're at 51. Now, why are we at 51 with Mummify? It's long story, Parthenax. I think we did that in a previous video when we highlighted Banelord. But we're not gonna belabor that. We have a separate deck in our competitive section for Banelord. But we are gonna take this to ranked. So the first thing we're gonna see and we're gonna be watching for is what our opponent mulligans. So from our spreadsheet, you saw that the standard mulligan size we did was 5, so mulliganing 2 cards, drawing 3, throwing 2 back, you get 5. The larger our opponent's mulligan, the more likely they are a mid-range or control deck, as aggro is typically happy with whatever they draw. Not always true, but it's what we're going to be operating under the assumption of. There is a chance, so I'm looking at these colors, there's a chance he's running Sower. Sower, I'm fine mummifying, as that represents 5 health. He threw back 1. Increases the chance he's aggro. Picking up a Drain Vitality is great. Give him a hello back.
Citizen.
Now we want to conserve our ring because I think we want to be the reactionary deck here. If I think he is aggro, there is not much to be gained by me just throwing a Thieves Guild recruit out. Alright, he's got Plunder.
What have we here?
But I'll do it just to cycle. We might be able to get a trade up if I can Drain Vitality something.
The waters of life.
Or we can just free trade with the Tree Minder. So he is mid-range Greed. Because aggro never runs Tree Minder.
My scales move.
But that means we are now in a race to find our combo. Because he has a combo he's looking for. Because there's no pressure on me, I'm just going to go ahead and play that out. I don't think we need the Drain. I do think we need the Curses. We're going to chuck Brynjolf, chuck Barrowstalker. I do have an emergency Barrowstalker in hand. So Somebody's observing both our games. Cool. Wonder if my hand's being reported. We'll see. Do we have a cat back there? Oh, we do have a cat. Let me turn cat cam on for you guys. Give me a second. Cat.
Close ranks. Let nothing through.
We're just gonna throw... I think I'm gonna pass. No reason to trade our camel off here. Well... So this deck, I try to pilot it down to about 2 rune breaks. We've got a sheer point in hand, so I don't really want to use the curse and trade. I'd rather trade him in.
I hate this crown. It's damned uncomfortable. I will taste blood.
So we're actually just gonna ramp.
The hist revives.
And I'm gonna just curse that down. Just remove it. We were gonna do sheer point, but the ramp gets us caught up to his ramp and allows us some bigger plays with sheer point and multiple creatures in a turn. Now, we're not mummifying this because I think I could deal with it between sheer point. That, on the other hand, is gonna be a right pain. I'm gonna not use these, though, because we're setting up for a Banelord. Banelord needs him to have at least 1 health for it to remove it. Because it doesn't actually reduce the health or set the health on anything if it's already at 1.
By the fires of oblivion.
And see, now we can Banelord here, curse that, and we're good to go. He might Dark Rebirth this, which would be unfortunate. But if that's the case, the curse will still remove 1, and then the Drain Vitality will remove the other. He's casting it out. I don't need to Banelord. I think we do need to Banelord here.
Gone.
We're gonna bump him for 4. So we got his High King Emmerich out of the way. That's unfortunate. But we did clear his other wards.
Nicely done.
Ward deck is actually very weak to what we're running, provided we hold what we have in hand. I do like seeing Shornhelm champion. That makes me happy.
I hate this crown. It's damned uncomfortable.
So we're gonna curse the shite out of him. Because I don't want him bouncing it back to hand again. And I'm gonna keep playing around Ice Storm by keeping that guy alive. I think we just play... Get a discounted Banelord? Yes, please. Bumping that is just asking for an Ice Storm to clear sheer point. I want to make him use a Lightning Bolt if he's got it. So our win condition here is finding Galen.
Let us begin the lesson.
He's gonna Lightning Bolt, isn't he? This is a card I really like. You guys saw that. Did we do a recent... We did do a recent video with that. I think. We got it up to Lava Atronach at some point. Alright, so it's pretty clear. He's not sniping. I get nervous with double view. It's nothing against anyone, I just get nervous. So that was a really good 1, 2, 3 for 1? Because we got the critter. The critter's item. And the Lesser Ward. Uther, whoa, you're early. Uther don't know we're recording at the moment. Shout out to Uther. One of my Twitch mods.
Sacred words of Beloff.
I would rather keep this alive. I think we're gonna use our one Mummify on it. And I think we're gonna turn off moves and some of these other draw cards he could have.
You will die where you stand.
Alright, bull. Order your death.
I'll lead my family to glory.
So I'm overcommitting if he Ice Storms, but I still have a Banelord, plus I'll have a Curse. But I am trying to set up for lethal next turn. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Well, not quite lethal. Alright, good. We're not getting Ice Stormed.
What did you expect? A friendly greeting? The void awaits you.
Alright, bull. Order your
My scales.
We're gonna play around Prophecy Lightning Bolt. Because otherwise I was gonna have to use a Drain Vitality with it. We'll just leave it at that. Kept the Banelord at full health, again trying to play around Ice Storm.
A fine battle.
The void awaits you.
Premium Banelord needed lethal. But that's how we kind of... We have to go through the full game, but that's how we read the deck. Initially, we assumed he was aggro. Why? Because you always assume they're aggro. We immediately denoted one of the most powerful cards a mid-range aggro could have that would really screw us over, because Banelord is lacking in Drain, and that is Sower. As a result, we kept our one of Mummify. He didn't end up playing a Sower. He might have had it, but he never ended up playing it. Then ultimately, where we saw we were able to go for lethal, we removed the one threat he had, and then just sent everything face. So here we go. Dagoth. So Dagoth could be Rage, could be mid, could be aggro. If he's aggro, we absolutely need a 2-drop. Leaf Lurker's actually pretty good because it combos with the wound when they trade. But it is a 5-drop, so I think we're going to throw it back. I don't think I'm going to be able to skip until that. Drain Vitality, Werebat. Alright, we've got some early plays here. He doesn't have Crown Quartermaster. That's an argument against aggro. I was not paying attention for his mulligan, and our bar up here is... No, it's not bugged. It doesn't show mulligan. They should add mulligan to the top bar up here.
I do not fear
We've got some lethal, so a little bit of control package. See how he responds to that. So when I don't know what our opponent is, I'm trying just to play stuff, and I want to see what cards they have in the deck. Let's represent some threats, like I'm going to get the trade here. He throws away a Clockwork Dragon, so Dagoth Dragons is a possibility. If he is... So, here's an example. I could get rid of that with Mummify. But if I do, I have no answer for a Hand of Dagoth. And if he's dragons, I have no answer for Parthodax or the larger dudes. So I think we're just going to contest it. Give him his cards. He's at 5, 6. We're at 6 plus 1, 7. So we're still one card up on him. Granted, 2 of ours are developed and one of them isn't likely to trade.
Wrong side.
We're sitting in a pretty good spot right now.
By the fires of oblivion.
Only I could play a Dread Mage here. We're gonna see if we can get away with the cereal.
I don't have any idea what you took
This is currently only -1/-1, so it doesn't really help us here because it's still gonna die and he's still gonna get the tome. If he guards up here, we've got Viper.
Garland dogs.
Have you come to submit or come to die?
No hard feelings, right?
The real question is, do we mummify Hand of Dagoth? And I think the answer is no, because then he's just still gonna tome on it and trade. We save Viper to remove it, so we're just gonna pass turn. You do not always need to play. We are going to have access to Bane Lord Drain Vitality soon. And hopefully we've got a good cheap card coming from Cereal.
Careful there, friend.
Garland dogs.
Good and cheap Viper, huh? So I'm going to do something a little special here. No, I can't. I want to play the Viper and pass, but I don't think I can get away with it. Because if I pass, the next turn I have Viper Dreadmage, and I can remove this, remove something with the Viper. But right now it looks like we're taking 8, 9, 10, 11, we'd be taking 13 damage, put us right here. I can't allow it.
Gone!
6 damage is a wee bit more acceptable.
Out upon it.
Look to the skies.
I can deal up to 3. I do think I'm going to take this and just kind of neuter this guy.
Gone luck!
I do have Banelord into hopefully double curse next turn.
Out upon it.
So now we're well below what I like to be at. I think we're just gonna curse Leaf Lurker. First, well, we want to remove this. Banelord is a risk, but it's a risk that could pay off. Play outside of encounter range. Remove the Dargon. We've set ourselves up for a Leaf Lurker next turn. So what we're running into is a case of where I misread his deck as how aggro it could go, and I should have mummified earlier.
Sheol take you.
Forcing him to use that tome for trading rather than for aggroing as he's been able to do here.
Khajiit will keep you safe.
Does have an Atronach, because he can consume the Reflective Automaton.
My eyes are open and my senses sharp.
So I can mummify that. Then we've got Banelord. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But he's gonna have a tome. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he gets 3 damage through there. That does need mummified. That's not an option. We're not dead on board. We're basically dead on board, but we're not dead on board yet.
Keep your distance.
Now we're dead. Short of a prophecy.
This one is in no mood.
So, we've gotten one good version of how to read a deck, and another of how not to read a deck. Always assume your opponent can aggro. I played for the late game, and we got punished. But, so, mulligan size. What cards your opponent has played, what combos with that. Other thing you can do is if you go down here into your profile, I might have to take cat cam off for us to see it. You don't need to see the wins losses. What you can see is these are all games on ladder. All the way up. The entire thing's on ladder, so perfect. What you could then see is, okay, we have faced, because left column's me, Dagoth, so what was ultimately a mid-range list, but more aggro than anticipated. A control list. Dargon list. Now, 2 kind of pseudo-Dargon lists. Now we're going back so far I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember the last recording, but you can go back to other videos, see what those were. Control, something, probably aggro, probably mid. But you can kind of get a thing that just trace the bouncing blue. Blue, 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 blue. Blue, 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 blue. Blue, 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 blue. And you can suddenly start to get patterns. There's also a fair bit of green in here. It's not as common as blue, but if you know you're up against blue, you know you're up against wards, you know you're up against Alfiques. And with that, you can then start trying to tech in answers and say, okay, I don't need to be as hard-teched versus aggro as I was because I'm not seeing a whole lot of aggro. And sure, I'll lose the aggro game I queue into, but I'll win the non-aggro games I queue into. Ladder is not about having the best deck. It is about having the deck that beats the most things that you are seeing. You can auto-lose to aggro, and if you don't see aggro, like here I ran in Tribunal, Tribunal, Dominion, Tribunal, you don't see aggro, you can't lose to it. So, shorter tutorial. Sorry I didn't have any magic bullets for you, but hopefully that information you will find helpful. Next video we will be getting into will be our how to enter. I wanted to end the tutorial a certain way, as it's the second series we've done. And so we're going to be ending it with a tutorial of how to get involved in the community and how to bounce your ideas and where you can go, what you can do. And yeah, we're going to expand upon that next video. Till then, cheers. It's been nice having you guys with us. Leave a comment, subscribe if you would. It really helps us. I'm trying to get ourselves visibility out there for everyone to see. And it helps. It helps a lot. But anyway, we stream every day except Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday is date night. Sorry, not streaming that. And Thursday is when I do a lot of the recording for this, in addition to Saturday. So I have 2 days. Thursday. Sunday, we do tournaments and community events. We do giveaways for those, for both the people participating and the viewers. Then Tuesday, we do more tutorial content like this. And if you've watched our stream and get coins, or ask, we have lots of nice people in chat who give coins for this. You can get a one-on-one tutoring session where you will get to pick the topic, and for 2 hours, we will cover that on stream, anything you want in-game. So, with that said, cheers, goodbye, I'll see you on ladder.